All right, welcome everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. We are now fully in December and it's definitely cold here. It's been snowing this evening. So today I'm going to be presenting to you about a cleanse and detox that we're going to be doing in January. So I want to introduce some of the key concepts that we're going to be working with for this detox, and just introduce you to some of the tools that we're going to be using, the supplements and the oils, and also talking about why we detox, why it's important to detox. This cleanse and restore program is going to be accompanied by Practice You, which is a really beautiful journal that Elena Brower has just brought out. It's a creative journal that we can all work through in our own time. And I'm going to be taking and mentoring us through it for 9 weeks as of January. So those of you that are interested in participating, please let me know, because we're going to be working through this and then also doing our cleanse alongside it. So it's going to be a full-on cleanse to open us up to new creativity and new motivation and new health and wealth and well-being for the new year. So I wanted to talk this evening about some of the supplements that we're going to use during this cleanse, that of course you can use anytime, but it's just as a way of introducing these products to you all in case you want to join our community cleanse. So I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me one sec. Okay, I'm just going to minimize you all so you guys can see the text properly. Okay, so this is for those of you that are educating about doTERRA and are giving classes. This is available, this presentation is available online, and any of you can use it and adjust it as you need. Nice reindeer look there, Ed. So we're going to start with what doTERRA teach us about this sort of wellness lifestyle and this lifestyle pyramid here, and how we need to be, in order to have full, complete, holistic wellness, we need to be looking at like lots of different levels or aspects of our life. So it's not just about eating right, but it's also about our exercise, how we rest and how we manage stress, how we reduce our toxic load, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, informed self-care, which is what we do with our oils, and then proactive medical care, which is a kind of last resort, which is where we go and seek medical attention. But there's a lot that we can do in the meantime and empower ourselves to live a healthy and well lifestyle before we actually need to go and seek that medical care. Obviously, combined proper nutrition and exercise and rest and stress management, all of these things allows us to have maximum health, and each aspect builds on top of the other. So if any piece is left out, then that's when the compromise occurs. So, you know, we could eat right, but maybe we're not exercising at all, or maybe we're exercising and we're eating, but we're not managing our stress well, and all of that will have an effect in some way upon us. So what we're talking about today is reducing toxic load. And what is toxic load? Well, basically a toxin is any substance that causes harm to the body. And toxic load refers to the accumulation of all the toxins affecting your body at any one time and placing a burden on the organs and your bodily systems. So toxins can come from different sources. And here you can see we've got pathogens, which are basically things like bacteria and fungi and viruses, and they cause disease in the body. Then you've got chemicals. They can be from natural or synthetic substances that cause harm. And common examples are things like artificial sweeteners or processed foods or exhaust from cars and cigarette smoke and solvents and plastics, all those sorts of things. And then finally, radiation from the sun. So that's the most common source of radiation. So all of these things can cause toxic load to our body. And so we want to learn how to clear this, and the body does that through different ways, through the lungs, the gastrointestinal tract, and the skin. So that this is how the body deals with toxins, basically. These are the three most vulnerable areas of exposure are the lungs and the digestive tract and the skin, because there's more direct exposure there. And we can ingest toxins through the food that we eat, or inhale them through the air that we breathe, or also they're passed through the skin, through the products that we use. So if we're using synthetic products on our skin, or products that have a load of chemical in them, then that's another way that it gets into the blood system. So we really want to be looking after these areas of our body and how we're exposing these pathways to toxins. Obviously, it's like, before we reduce the toxic load, we actually want to minimize it, first of all. So we don't want to be exposing our body to these toxins. But the reality is that, we are going to ingest or inhale a certain amount of toxins. So obviously the first thing is just avoiding toxic exposure altogether. And essential oils like lemon, for example, we can wash our fruit and vegetables in lemon oil. This is a really, really nice trick that I learned recently. So if you're, don't necessarily have organic produce available, or you're not sure if it's organic, or, for various reasons, we don't always have the best produce available to us, but you can actually wash your fruit and vegetables in a bowl of water, and you just put some drops of lemon oil in there. And everything you buy, every fresh produce that you buy, just wash it in that bowl of water with a few drops of lemon. And it's a really nice way also to preserve your fruit and vegetables. It not only cleanses them from toxins, but it preserves them. And I've tried this myself, and they last much longer. And then the other thing you can do is diffuse the oils in your home to clean the air. So if there is, if you live in a city, for example, you can be diffusing lemon oil or Purify in your diffuser to just clean the air. Also, if there's damp, if you live in a home where there's a lot of damp, that can also be harmful to our system. So you can use your oils like On Guard and lemon in your diffuser to make sure that you're cleaning those microbes from the air. So yeah, these are just little tricks that you can do to avoid that toxic exposure. And then we want to be supporting our defense functions. So we want to be supporting our lungs and the way that our body defends itself against toxins. So one of the ways that we can do that is with supplements. So in the cleanse that we're going to be doing in January, we're going to be working with various different supplements to support our cleanse. And these provide nutrients to fortify our body and help our body protect itself and detoxify. And we need nutrients to do that. So we need that nutrition to be able to have the energy so that our body can protect itself and detoxify. And then the liver also in particular needs to be supported because it needs to function well. It plays a significant role in eliminating fat-soluble toxins. And then another form of toxicity is the presence of free radicals, which cause oxidation in the body. So, all of these supplements in some way will be supporting our body to reduce the free radicals, to avoid these inflammatory responses. And the supplements that we're going to be using in our cleanse are the Lifelong Vitality Kit. Okay, so I'm going to go more into that in another presentation, because that really on its own, there's so much we could talk about here. It's just like they are packed with nutrients and vitamins and minerals and all sorts of things, but they sort of warrant their own presentation. But what they are doing is they're providing the body with all the resources we need to produce energy and to combat the free radicals with antioxidants, and also to help our body cope with the inflammatory response. And finally, we want to support elimination functions. So it's obviously avoiding toxic exposure, number one, supporting our defense functions, and then supporting our elimination. And this is really the focus of this presentation, is how we're detoxing, how we're cleansing, and how our body is doing that, and how we are helping our body to do that. So the body has a complex system of detoxification, complete with organs and processes that allow elimination of toxins that have entered the body. And the liver, the kidneys, and the colon are involved in our body's natural detoxification processes, as the same as our skin, our lungs, and our GI tract. Okay, so we've got these different elimination pathways, right? We've got the primary chimneys, which are our intestinal tract and our urinary system. And then we've got secondary chimneys, which are usually used if the primary chimneys are clogged up, or they're not functioning sufficiently, or they're overloaded. So it's interesting, it's very interesting, when oftentimes when we have a skin problem, or there's a skin, an outburst of acne, or some kind of skin irritation, it's because the skin is kind of like the last resort to get rid of these toxins that the intestinal tract or the urinary system have not been able to do. So it's really interesting. If you do have a tendency to suffer from skin problems, I would absolutely be supporting your intestinal system as well as your skin, as well as obviously using natural and non-chemical products. But you definitely want to be supporting your intestinal tract and those primary chimneys, okay? Because this is how the body moves waste out. When the primary chimneys have been neglected or are under functioning, then the secondary chimneys will take on the overload. So it's interesting to look at that in terms of your own tendencies, in terms of your health, whether there's respiratory problems or skin issues. So with this in mind, obviously it's really important that we support optimal elimination. We want to make sure that our primary chimneys are functioning. There's a proper flow of the intestinal tract, proper flow of the urinary tract, and proper liver function, okay? Because this will lift any unnecessary burden from the other chimneys, from the skin or the respiratory system. Because otherwise they'll just become overloaded and clogged up. So let's have a little bit more of a look at the gastrointestinal tract here. So the main function, let me just see if, The main function of the body's gastrointestinal tract is to metabolize the food we eat and to excrete waste products, okay? It also plays a major role in absorption. And so unfortunately for many people, this system tends to be experiencing less than optimal function, because the body, we need to be able to distinguish usable substances from harmful toxins. And if this is not functioning properly, then our ability to distinguish the difference between the two becomes compromised. So it's really important that this is functioning well. This is kind of what's going on in the gastrointestinal tract. So when food and nutrients are absorbed, they pass through the walls of the digestive system and they directly enter the bloodstream for delivery throughout the body. Okay, so it's important that these intestinal walls, you can see here what they're made up of. It's important that these are both efficient but also selective. So they're selective in what they're absorbing. So we can absorb the nutrients and prevent the toxins from entering the body. And so we can see here that the intestines are made up from these different villi, or the even smaller microvilli. They cover the wall of the intestinal tube, and they're kind of specialized cells that serve as a selective barrier. Okay. So in our cleanse that we do in January, we're going to be using this product called TerraZyme, which is an enzyme complex. And this is a unique blend of active whole food enzymes and mineral cofactors that are often deficient from our cooked food or processed food. So we can find enzymes in raw food and vegetables, but oftentimes we don't necessarily get enough of them to provide a good environment in our intestinal tract so that food gets digested properly. So these digestive enzymes are going to really support our digestion and overall health of the gastrointestinal tract. And we can see a little bit more about them here. So they support healthy digestion and metabolic processes. The enzymes are special substances that help catalyze biochemical reactions in the body. And they are crucial players in the physiologic processes, including metabolism and detoxification. So as I mentioned, fresh raw food naturally contains sufficient enzymes for proper digestion, but when food is cooked and processed, these naturally occurring food enzymes can be destroyed. So in the cleanse that we're going to do, we're going to be using this for 30 days, and we're going to take it for the first 10 days on its own with zendocrine, so that we really get the digestive tract working properly. And you can take between 1 and 3 each day. You can take 1 with each meal, or just 1 a day with your heaviest meal. And as it says here at the bottom, it's also very effective when taken on an empty stomach to get rid of old waste in various areas of the body. So this is what we're going to be using in January, but also this is just a great supplement to be using day to day. If you have a sensitive digestive system, or this is your kind of weak spot, if you like, then I would really encourage you to give this a go, especially over the Christmas period, where we're going to be kind of indulging and eating a lot of heavy foods. This is going to be super supportive for you and just help you to stay energized and help your body functioning without putting a huge amount of stress on the digestive system. So just going back to this idea of these pathways of elimination. So with the liver, the toxins go into the liver and they get processed through these 2 chimneys, which are the kidneys and the colon. So the liver doesn't actually have its own chimney. It relies on the kidneys and the colon for the elimination processes. And liver is super important. It plays a key role in detoxifying the body of drugs and toxins. So it's a really important organ that we want to support. And if the kidneys and the colon are unable to partner sufficiently with the liver, then it will find additional exit points for its waste products, which is basically the skin. So if the kidneys and the colon are not functioning properly, then the liver needs to eliminate, it needs to get rid of toxins, and that will often happen through the skin. So again, the skin is kind of this last resort as a chimney of elimination. And it's something, if we do suffer from acne, or if we do suffer from skin problems or skin irritations, we want to be looking to detoxifying the liver, starting really from the ground up. So there's a really amazing oil for the liver that we use called zendocrine. And this I think I just I don't know what happened there. Where did you lose me? Can someone just let me know? Was it just on the liver bit? Were we just talking about the liver? Yeah? Okay. So I will continue. It seems that we're still recording. So I'll just continue from there on. Was it the zendocrine? Was it that bit? Did we get to the zendocrine together?
No, it was back. It was the chimneys. You were talking about the chimneys. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So yeah, I'll just repeat just in case we missed it, but the liver depends on these 2 chimneys, the kidneys and the colon, and if both of them are not functioning well, then it looks to the skin to eliminate any toxins. So again, it's just really recognizing these signs, if there's skin problems, if there's skin eruptions, if there's irritation on the skin, then a detox of the liver could be really, really beneficial. And one of the oils that we're going to be using in January is zendocrine. for this. So Zendocrine is an incredible detoxification oil. It has, you can get it in capsules and also as an oil, and it contains tangerine, juniper berry, cilantro, geranium, and rosemary. So this is really key for maximizing the health of the liver, the kidneys, the colon, and the endocrine system. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So each of these oils in this blend has detoxification properties and are known to support the function and the health of the liver and the kidneys. And juniper berry has been clinically demonstrated to support the kidneys and offer renal protective effects. So we're going to be using this in our community cleanse in capsules. So we're going to be taking it. You can either use the oil twice, you can either put it in capsules yourself, 2 drops per capsule twice a day with food, or you can take a capsule, there's endocrine capsules which come already made for us. Okay. And again, this is something you can be using anytime, you know, especially if you're traveling, let's say, if you feel like you have been exposed to toxins, if you feel like there is some skin issues, or over the Christmas period where you're not necessarily eating the food that you would usually eat, I would really think about supporting yourself with this. And what I tend to do, what I really like doing, is taking a capsule before bed. And then during my sleep, when the body is resting and going through its normal detox cleansing processes, it's just a really nice, gentle cleanse that takes place while I'm resting during the night. So we're going to be using, in our cleanse, we're going to be using the Terrazyme and the Zendocrine for the first, well, for 30 days, for the whole 30 days. And after the first 10 days, we're going to switch, we're going to include this GX Assist. Okay, and this is quite a powerful blend. It also contains some essential oils, so oregano, melaleuca, lemon, lemongrass, peppermint, and thyme. But it also contains caprylic acid. Okay, and this is all right, it's one of those evenings. I'll just keep going. Zoom's just going to have to deal with it. All right. So as I was saying, this contains caprylic acid. And caprylic acid has been clinically demonstrated to have detoxification properties. And what it does is it's able to penetrate cellular membrane of hostile organisms and just break them down, just get rid of them. So this is quite an intense product, and you can use 1 to 3 capsules a day. For me personally, I could only use 1 a day. It was too much for me to take more, but I know that others, like Kate, for example, I know you were using 3 a day. So yeah, I mean, I think you just have to listen and see what your body, how your body is responding. I hope you can all still hear me because everybody else is completely frozen. Oh man, I don't know what to do. Should I just keep going? I mean, I think what I'll do is let's try one last time. And if it continues to just turn off, then I'll just record this when I get good internet and put it up on our page, okay? Because I don't want you guys to be hanging around looking at a blank screen. So let's say if it just cuts out again, then we'll call it a night, and I'll record this full talk and upload it tomorrow on our Facebook page, okay? All right, let's try one last time. Okay. Caprylic acid, did you get that bit? Okay, great. All right. So one of the other things that we need to think about is toxins get stored in fat. So any of us that are struggling to lose weight or wanting to lose weight, trying to eat really healthy, doing all the exercise, sleeping well, all that kind of stuff, actually, unless we're actually detoxing the body, some of that fat we're never gonna shift, or some of that excess weight we're never gonna shift, because the toxins are stored in the fat. So that's why it's really interesting, as well as eating healthily and accompanying any kind of diet change with a detox as well, to begin that process. Because many toxins are fat soluble, and many toxins are stored in the fat. And when there's an excess of toxins in the body, part of our body's natural immune response is to just store it in fat, in fatty tissues. Storing toxins in this way is a protective measure that the body takes, and prevents the toxins from doing any harm anywhere else. And when this occurs, obviously, it's very difficult to shift that excess weight. So it's kind of another incentive for those of us that are wanting to, lose any excess weight that we might have gained, to try have a detox as part of that process of weight loss. All right, coming towards the end now. So coming back to this gastrointestinal tract, okay? The main function of the gastrointestinal tract is to metabolize the food we eat and excrete waste products. But the GI tract and the immune system are really linked. They're inextricably linked together. Because of its major role in absorption, much of the body's immune function also occurs in the GI tract. So the body must be able to distinguish usable substances from harmful toxins, which we've mentioned before. And to accomplish this differentiation, the GI tract serves as a selective barrier, okay? And within the stomach, we've got the gastric acid, and this is very, very highly acidic, and it plays a key role in digestion, but it also plays a key role in the immune system. So this acid, the stomach acid, is capable of killing a lot of toxic microbes that have inappropriately entered the digestive tract. So we want this digestive tract to be functioning. We want the acid to be healthy and functioning, because we want it to be killing off the toxins that are not supposed to be there. Okay? And as we know, we've got this microflora in the gut as well. And we've got the friendly bacteria that we want. They help with digestion, and they prevent the growth of harmful pathogens. Okay? They produce its essential nutrients. They help the breakdown in indigestible substances, and they also participate in immune messaging. There are lots of different threats to our microflora in the gut: physical stresses, different chemicals and toxins, an unhealthy diet, exposure when we're traveling, and antibiotics as well. And all of this can threat the balance of flora in our gut. And these are potentially some of the symptoms that we might be experiencing: digestive discomfort, different sensitivities to foods, chronic gastrointestinal challenges like IBS or Crohn's, fatigue, low energy, and underactive immunity. Okay, and so the last product that we're going to be using in our cleanse is the Restart and Renew, the PB Assist, which is a probiotic. And bear with me one sec. So this is going to help us reestablish healthy microflora. It's a blend of prebiotics and probiotics. And so for those of you that aren't clear of what probiotics are, they are living organics, living organisms, living bacteria, and they can just help our microflora, the healthy balance of flora in the gut. And prebiotics are in like digestible substances such as fiber that foster an optimal environment for microbial colonization. And they stimulate microbial activity in the gut. Okay? And obviously there are tons and tons of different probiotics. I've taken lots of probiotics before. I don't know if you can see here, but the coloring is slightly You can see the green color and the slightly transparent color, and on these capsules. And basically it's a capsule within a capsule. So the reason they've done this is so that there's a kind of protective layer around the probiotics, so that when we take this capsule, the stomach acid doesn't destroy all the probiotics. It's protected, so those probiotics can actually get to the intestines before the stomach has kind of eaten away everything. So yeah, it's got like it's basically like a time release capsule with active probiotic cultures. So we can use this on a daily basis. And you can also use it as part of the cleanse. So we're going to be using this as part of our 30-day cleanse. And this is the last slide. This is how we're going to be working with these products. Okay, so you can see at the bottom you've got the TerraZyme and the Zendocrine, which we're going to be using for the entire 30 days. And then after the first 10 days, we'll start with our GX Assist. So after 10 days, the TerraZyme and the Zendocrine will have already done quite a lot of work in terms of detoxing our body. And then the GX Assist, which is a powerful product, that's going to step in. And we're going to be taking that for 10 days with our AM and PM meals. And then the PB Assist is going to be the last 10 days of our cleanse. And then we'll go on taking that in the next month, the following month. So this is just to give you basically a kind of rundown of what these products do, why it's important to cleanse, why it might interest you in detoxing, and to let you know that we're going to be starting this as a community on Monday the 15th of January. So those of you that are interested in joining us, we'd love to have you. You're going to be getting meditations every week in your inbox. You're going to be getting yoga practices, and you're going to be really supported. We're going to meet every Monday in the morning online, and those calls will be recorded for those of you that can't make those meetings. But this is just a really nice way to start our year. We're starting it with a new moon, so it's all in alignment. Are there any questions?